Donald Trump just told Canada, pay up $61 billion or become America's 51st state and get it for free. This isn't a joke. It's a real offer from a U.S. president, and it's sparking outrage, disbelief, and serious questions across two countries.
We can always, look, what I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy.
This is not satire. This is Donald Trump suggesting a democratic ally and sovereign nation that surrender its independence in exchange for military protection. In 2024, this is what foreign policy sounds like from the GOP frontrunner.
I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term.
Ultimately, this right here, the Golden Dome for America, is game changer. It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans.
Let's break this down. Trump is pushing a $175 billion missile defense system called the Golden Dome, with space-based interceptors that sound more like science fiction than science fact. He wants Canada to chip in $61 billion or join the U.S. and get it for free. So the question is, was this a policy proposal or an ultimatum? Because it sounds less like diplomacy and more like a shakedown. Nice country you got there, shame if it stayed independent.
Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy.
No, Donald, they're not. Canadians didn't vote for this, and their new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, ran against your influence. But the fact that Trump believes this is even up for negotiation shows just how detached from reality his foreign policy really is. Can a sovereign nation like Canada even become a U.S. state? The short answer, no. Unless millions of people in both countries wanted it and Congress rewrote the Constitution. And spoiler alert, Canada has already answered.
As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen.
That's Mark Carney, Canada's Prime Minister, sending the clearest message possible. Canada is not for sale, not for missiles, not for money, and definitely not for a spot in Trump's fantasy government.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace, that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale.
Here's the deeper problem. When a U.S. president dangles statehood as a bargaining chip for national security, it sets a terrifying precedent. This isn't just about Canada, it's about the normalization of coercion over cooperation. It signals to the world that the United States might trade security for submission, or worse, only protect its neighbors if they become property. That's not leadership, that's extortion.
Today, Canada faces another critical moment. Democracy, pluralism, the rule of law, self-determination, and freedom are values which Canadians hold dear, and ones which the government is determined to protect. Canada can build new alliances and a new economy that serves all Canadians.
Even King Charles weighed in during a historic speech in Canadian Parliament, calling Canada strong and free. And that's the real story. Canada is moving closer to Europe, not America. Carney is looking at European defense partnerships, not Trump's space weapons fantasy. Why is President Trump trying to absorb allies instead of strengthening alliances? Why is national defense being used like a product pitch? And if this is how Trump treats Canada, America's closest friend, what does that mean for everyone else? This isn't about Canada joining the U.S. This is about whether the U.S. can survive another Trump presidency without burning its closest bridges. How can any president make offers like this to our allies?